just don't see it any other way. I'm too weak to make the climb. I need a miracle this time. That's when.
Good afternoon. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio. That's in Christ Radio. We're your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television locally right here in Alabama, North Alabama, channel 182 on Charter Communications. And then you can find us all over the whole world by going to Abundant TV. Abundant TV can be found on Roku, Apple TV, as well as Amazon Fire. So we appreciate you listening to us every day, Monday through Friday. Wanted to mention a new sponsor we have. It's Lone Tree Ranch. Lone Tree Ranch. This is where we buy all of our beef. We've been doing this for a long time, and it keeps very well in the freezer. You know how sometimes you'll go to maybe a market and maybe the grocery store and you'll buy hamburger meat on sale? You better hurry up and eat it up, because after you put it in the freezer, it just has this weird smell to it. Not so here. I have beef that I've had in the freezer for weeks, and it still tastes good. So go ahead and check them out. Good friends of ours, Don and Judy Huntington. And so the telephone number, they're located in Collinsville. By the way, everything is local, okay? Local beef, and everything is free range with them. There's no chemicals, nothing on their land or anything. 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Go ahead and give them a call, and they will take good care of you. Also, the Cattle Stampede Steakhouse, located in Fort Payne as well as in Scottsboro. Check them out. They have some really good deals. That's on the morning 5 entrees, less than $5. And you have 5 to choose from. So go ahead and go at it. I always get the chicken fingers. And I'll tell you what, the sides, they overload you. They'll put a lot of fries or a lot of, if you wanted onion rings. So what Phil and I do, when we go out there and get the 5 less than $5, I'll go ahead and get the onion rings. He gets the French fries, and we just divide it up. So there's all kinds of ways you can go out there and have great food. And by the way, remember, these folks are also great folks. They helped out the community and fed a lot of people free of charge back when COVID hit. So you make sure you go check folks like that out. And Bobby Ledbetter, Twin City Used Car Sales, same thing. Okay, good to have you on the show today. I've got Donna Journey with me, and she's with the Journeys. And we play Donna's music. We play the Journeys music here at our station.
We appreciate that, Donna.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I wanted to mention this. We have a top 20. And every time somebody comes on the show, it seems like they get into the top 20 because we start talking about your music. And so, Donna, I wanted to let you know that our listeners are the boss of us. And
yes,
they send requests, and whatever they send requests for, the most requests get into the top 20. So let's talk about this new single you guys have.
Well, it's been out a few months, but it's called Trouble the Waters, and it talks about the Pool of Bethesda. And the lady going there, and the people that went there, you know, the angel come down one time a year. Mm-hmm. And whoever was in the water first was automatically healed. And that it talks about that in the first verse, but praise the Lord, we don't have to do that anymore. The Lord hears our prayers, and he can trouble the waters for you today. And this song is an awesome song. It was written by Carolyn Connor, who writes a lot of our songs. She wrote Looking More Like Your Father, Here I Go Again, a lot of the ones that we've done in the past, but it's a great song, and I hope it'll bless somebody, especially if they need a healing of some kind. I think they're going to enjoy this song.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's give us a chorus. What, or maybe a verse of the chorus. You want to sing it, or if you just want to talk it off?
Well, it's just, Lord, trouble the waters just one more time. Let's see, there was a place long ago called the Pool of Bethesda. Let's see, called the Pool of Bethesda. I can't do it without, I can't talk it without singing it. There was a place long ago called the Pool of Bethesda, where the healing waters did flow. Once a year, God sent his angel down to trouble the waters below. For those who were sick or lame in their bodies, a healing they finally could claim. They'd pick up their beds, rise up and be healed. They'd go in Jesus' name. Won't you trouble those waters, Lord, just one more time? Lord, send down your healing for your friends and mine. I've waited so long for this healing of mine. Lord, trouble the waters just one more time.
That's
It's
awesome.
hard to do a cappella.
Well, it sounds really nice. Really,
Thank you.
really good. And of course, we have that, and we're playing that now at our station. So make sure you listen to it. You can find it different ways. You can go to icradio.media, download the apps, and then that way you can listen to all kinds of great songs by the Journeys, and request those as well. Absolutely.
Yes.
So how long has the group been in existence?
This is our 10th year. Now, I've been singing all my life. I sang with my family when I was young. I started singing when I was about 3 years old. My dad was a traveling evangelist. We went all over the country singing as the Bledsoe family. And then after Daddy passed away, Mama was no longer able to travel either. And we started singing with a friend of ours. Me and my sister started singing with another guy, and we sung for about 18 years as Heaven Sent. And then when Ben was born, my son, about a year and a half, when he was about a year and a half old, we found out, we knew something wasn't right. He wouldn't look at us. He wouldn't talk to us. Very little to no language. And I knew, I was a teacher, a kindergarten teacher, and I knew something just wasn't right. So we took him, and it took about a year, and they determined that he had moderate to severe autism. So I went off the road because I felt like my place was at home. I missed it. I sang in church choir. I did children's choir at our church and stayed as busy as I could. But I always had that longing to go back, because once you get that in your blood, it's there. You want to go, you want to travel, you want to sing, you want to meet people and tell them about Jesus. And when Ben was about 8 years old, Ben's almost 28 now. When Ben was about 8 years old, he loved guitars and any kind of music. So I got him a little kid's guitar, and he would take it around the house and strum on it and, you know, pretend like he was singing. And then a friend of ours, when he was about 12 or 13, got him a video set that taught him how to play. It was different lessons, and he would go in his room and he would get one lesson down. He went all the way through, I think it was 20 some lessons, and he taught himself to play guitar. To make a long story short, there was a group come to our church one Sunday, and Barry Scott, he used to sing with not the Primitive, it wasn't the Primitive, it was somebody, Dole Lawson and Quicksilver. And he came off the road and started singing with a group local here, and they came to our church to sing one Sunday, and he knew Ben could play the guitar. So he said, would you mind if he got up and played a song with us? And I said, no, that would be great. I would love that. And he got up and played with them. He played Farther Along. I'll never forget it. And I sat there and just wept on the front pew. Mm-hmm. And God spoke to me that day, and he said, Donna, if he can do that with them, he can do that with you. So that's how the Journeys came to be. We've been traveling ever since that day. God's blessed us to be in many states, to sing on platforms I never thought we would be on. And God's just good. And Ben is amazing. He plays guitar, piano, keyboard, bass, a little bit on the banjo, and just about anything he picks up.
So he does this all by ear?
He does. He sure does.
I play the piano by ear. And
yeah.
So I started playing, my parents wanted me to take lessons. I had an aunt who was actually a piano teacher. Mm-hmm. And so that just I couldn't follow the music. And so, but that's something that's always been calming in my life, just to get down and play the piano, you know.
Yes. And I showed Ben, I play piano, and I was the same way you were. I think I took about 12 lessons, and the little girl that was teaching me, she said, you might just let her play on her own, because she's going to get it by ear. So I showed him C, F, and G on the piano, and he plays chords now that I don't even know what they are. So that's just God. It's nothing me and Greg have done. It's just God working through Ben's life.
Well, you know, Ben, and we all have something in our lives. I mean, we all have something we could work on. But what I've noticed about autistic kids, they've got this extra sense of music
They do.
that other people don't have. They get it.
They do.
I mean, it's just, so you may be weak in some part of you, then you're strong, super strong in other parts of you. And again, it's music.
Yes, and his is definitely music, and has been since he was just a baby. I mean, he's picked up he'd pick up those little plastic guitars with the plastic strings when he was 2 or 3 years old and beg for them, and of course I would buy them. We've really tried to invest in what he loves. He won't go to college. He won't get to do a lot of things that other kids get to do, but where other folks invest in cars, we invest in guitars.
Well, I think that's awesome.
Whatever he wants, to learn to play, we try to support that. And the room that you see behind me is a little barn-like building out beside our house that we bought and put all this paneling. And he loves the Grand Ole Opry. He watches it every Saturday night. He's right there in front of.
And that looks like you're at the Grand Ole Opry.
It does. And we tried to fix the very back of it. Since it was a barn, we decided to paint it and make it look like the stage of the Grand Ole Opry. And he comes out here and jams on his drums and guitars and banjos and whatever he wants to pick up to play. You could probably see the guitars hanging over there on the wall.
Yeah, I was looking at those. How many does he have?
Oh my goodness, I lost count a long time ago. His favorite, though, I will tell you this, his favorite guitar, when he was 21, he actually got to go to Vince Gill's house and play guitars with him when he was 21, because a friend of mine knew Vince and they worked it out, and he went and played guitars with Vince for about 2 hours, and Vince signed his guitar that he had. So we retired that one, and I was blessed for his 21st birthday to find him a Martin guitar the same year he was born, 1994. 1994. And that's the one that he carries, and when we go and sing, you'll see him play that Martin. So he's got Martins and Gibsons and all kinds, Fenders. I think his favorite is his Martin, though.
So you finding, let's talk to parents who have autistic kids, because you don't know what to do. What do I do?
Yeah.
But the music seems to really calm them down a lot. So I think people need to be encouraged. Start them in music. Yes,
and a lot of times, if you watch them, and it might not be music. I know some folks that are, it's art with them, or something, totally different, puzzles. Just notice what their interests are, and if you're able to get them something to do with that interest and encourage them. Ben paints also. He paints pictures. He loves to paint, and he loves music. It might not be that for your child if you're out there and have an autistic kid, but just notice what they're interested in, and they'll let you know. You'll be able to tell, and just, try to support that in any way you can, and you'll be amazed what they can do.
Absolutely. And I think you're an awesome mom for listening to your child. I really do, because you're bringing some things out there for folks that maybe wouldn't have noticed before. The music coming out there and the art coming out there. Some of the most beautiful pictures I have ever seen are the ones that have been painted by autistic kids.
Yeah, Ben got interested in art one year when I was doing a camp for special needs kids. I was the director of it, and he went with me, and we took him to an art studio, and he got interested in painting that summer, and he's been doing it ever since. And when he's doing the painting or doing the music, it's like a different person. It's like it's a calming effect to them. So, if you're out there, you have an autistic child or grandchild or niece or nephew, tell their parents, notice what they're interested in, and they'll let you know, even if they can't talk, because Ben could not talk, but I knew every time he'd seen a guitar, he was going to pick it up. So we've just, and that's what we've found works, and I think it'll work for you if you'll try it.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, really, music calms everybody down.
Yes.
And that's all part of it as well. But using this is a ministry, not using, but what I'm saying is presenting as a ministry. I think that's just, it's calming for parents, because parents have to be calmed down as well.
Yes. And people, I get tickled when we go to a new church maybe, and they're not familiar with Ben, and they're looking at us like, what in the world? You know, he's slinging his hands, he's pacing, and then he gets up there and he starts to play and their mouths start dropping open. And I think it's funny sometimes, you know, how people look at people and judge, and they shouldn't.
Oh man.
You know, but I just sit back and watch sometimes and I'm thinking, you just wait. You know, as a mama. Yeah. But and I'm so excited. I know you know Greg Sullivan has an autistic child, and there's several people that we travel and sing at conventions with that have autistic children. The Pilot family, there's a long list. Billy Walker has a son with autism. All the parents got together, and I'm going to tell you about this because I think it's something that hopefully that you can help us promote. Next June, down in Mississippi, we're going to have the very first autism conference. It's going to, we haven't really decided on the name yet. We just about have. We're supposed to meet again tomorrow night, and it's going to be free to all parents that want to come. We're going to have meetings in the daytime that we will do to try to help y'all, you know, figure out what could help your child, to share things that's worked for us, to pray with you, whatever we need to do. But we're going to have that conference. It's going to be 2 or 3 days long down in Mississippi. And it's going to be a great thing. So if you're in the area, Alabama, Mississippi, you know, drive if you have to. And at night we're going to have a singing, and let these kids show you what they can do. And hopefully we're going to give hope to a lot of people. And we're thinking that the name of the conference is going to be There Is Hope. And I know when I was going through this diagnosis and didn't know which way to turn and was going to have to give up everything I had loved my whole life, I didn't know what to do or where to turn other than the Lord. And at that time, it was 1 in 1,000. Right now, today, as we're talking, it's 1 in, I think, 44 or 45.
Wow. So
that's how much the diagnosis of autism has grown since Ben was even diagnosed. But I can remember having that feeling, who can I talk to? And we want to be parents that not only go out and sing and share Ben, we want to help you. We want to help you find ways to work with your child, find ways that you could go out and possibly start a ministry or start a camp or whatever. But we're excited about that. You're going to be hearing more about it.
Well, there's a lot of hope out there. You know, when COVID hit, you know, it was like, who to believe? Who to believe? I need to talk with someone, you know, because it was all a mystery. Right. And a lot of times, I know in my life it's this way. It's the fear of the unknown.
Right.
You know, maybe I don't know about a situation. I don't know, you know, how the mechanics of how it works. And we all expect when our children are born to be born with some kind of a pamphlet in their hand. And that doesn't happen with any child.
No, no. But we're really excited about that.
Because there are groups, there are workshops that you can attend. And I'm talking about the ones that are Christian based. I think this is the best one, and this will be Christian based. When you guys get all this put together, if you don't mind, send me information. I'll go ahead and start with it.
I sure will. And we're supposed to meet again. Right now we're just in the planning stages, but it's coming along well, and we're excited. We've got the venue. You know, we're all going to work together and put this on, and hopefully that it will help some parent. If we just help one person, I would be thrilled.
And it will. I have with me right now Donna Journey, and she is with the Journeys, and also music out there. We play their music on our radio station as well. So make sure you stay tuned, and some of the new ones that are out there as well. So they've been singing for a very long time. So let's talk a little bit about hope, because, you know, whether it's a child that needs help or or just politics. I mean, people are watching the news 24/7. You should never do that, is my advice. But anyway, how can we be in a world that seems so hopeless? I mean, gas prices, I mean, all the stuff going on. How can we feel there's any kind of hope whatsoever?
Well, the only hope is Jesus Christ. And if you know him today, you know that there's hope. If you don't know him, you probably feel like there's absolutely no hope, because I don't know how I could have went through what I've went through in my lifetime not having hope. But I saw this thing on Facebook the other day and I read it and I thought, that's true. It said gas is $5 a gallon and I still have gas. Food is more than I can afford and I still have food. And God's going to provide. He's going to give us what we need when we need it, even though it looks like there is no hope. The only hope that I have, and I can think that Donna will say this too, is Jesus, and staying in his word and staying close to him, because it's not going to get any better. It tells us in the Bible it's going to wax worse. But your only hope today is Jesus.
I think so too. And also, he provides ideas for us. We had used to host a television talk show in Jacksonville, then went on to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I didn't have time for gardening. I mean, it was just all about that.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to be in the business, and then COVID hit, and then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Because I have asthma, and I most certainly did not want to get COVID. I didn't have it. You can survive it with asthma. You can survive it.
Well, I have asthma. I'm also a diabetic, and I got it last August, and I survived it. And it was the Lord. I mean, and sending me to the right place at the right time, because I honestly thought I had a sinus infection. And I got to the hospital, and my breathing was like 83, and it had to be 85 or something to get the infusion that was supposed to help me. Well, the little nurse that I had her in kindergarten, and she said, Miss Journey, get up and walk, take deep breaths. We're going to get you this infusion one way or the other. She said, we are going to get it. And so about that time I got up and was walking, taking deep breaths, and it finally went to whatever it needed to be. And she said, I'm signing the papers, you're going back. And we started getting better. So the Lord placed her there. I believe that with all my heart. And he'll place people and things, and there'll be a way when you think there's not going to be a way.
Absolutely. Let me ask you who the biggest influence in your life was. And I know you said your parents sang, but was there anybody else that just sticks out and you thought, you know what, that person is really a huge, huge help to me?
Let me think. I would have to say my daddy. I mean, I know you said besides mom and daddy, but my daddy was such a strong Christian. And there was time, I was still in poor, but we were raised on a farm, a tobacco farm, little house with no air conditioning. I've seen daddy, come at the end of the week and not have the money to pay something. I've seen him fall down on his knees and say, Lord, we need this. I know you're going to send it somehow. And I saw daddy was a radio DJ. And I've seen him, he went to the radio station in Dobson. It was a country station. And he said, he talked to the man. He said, I would love to see this station turned into a gospel station. And the guy told him, he said, if you can get 1,000 signatures on a sheet of paper that says that Dobson wants a gospel station in the area around here, I will switch it over. My daddy did that. He went and got those signatures. And that station is still a gospel station today.
Wow.
And I've just seen, as far as faith goes, he never doubted. He always knew that God, no matter what it was, that God was going to take care of it. And I know that's why I had the daddy I had, because God knew what I was going to have to go through in my lifetime, and with Ben and with other things. And I would have to say daddy was my greatest influence as far as my faith in Christianity goes.
Mhm. Let's talk with some folks right now who may be thinking about a singing career in gospel music. And maybe they think, well, I can't because I got all these things that are just firing at me. I mean, there are all these darts are coming out there. What do you say to that person?
I would say, first of all, make sure that's your calling. Don't do it just because you want to. And if you make sure that the Lord's telling you to do that and you do it, He's always going to provide. He's always going to send what you need. We started 10 years ago, just like I told you, because the Lord told us to. And we've never been without a booking. We've done 5 projects, 2 or 3 videos, some lyric videos, and the money has always been there. And even during COVID, we did a Christmas project and also our brand new project that Trouble the Waters came off of. We did that, and I was like, where did that money come from? I would have orders that would come into our website. Mm-hmm. We did a video on Facebook because poor Ben, when we started getting dates canceled, his world fell in. I mean, it was like he would look at me when I would mark something, another date off the calendar, and he would lay down on the floor and cry. So I said, okay, we're going to do a live Facebook video. That video, the other day when I looked, it had over 18,000 views. There's no way that we could have went out and traveled and spent money on the road and reached that many people. And God will always provide for you if He tells you to do it. Now, if He don't tell you to do it, you don't need to be doing it. I don't know how else
to put it. Out of it. Get yourself out of it.
Exactly. And the other thing that just simply drives me crazy, don't worry about a number on a chart if you start sending music out. Mm-hmm. And I know you like to be there, but don't worry about a number on the chart. Because if God's going to bless it, He's going to bless it regardless.
It doesn't matter if it's one person in His eyes. It doesn't matter if it's one person or if it's a million.
Exactly. And what good's a number on a chart? If you go into any church on Sunday morning and you look at them and say, who's got the number one song on whatever chart, they're going to look at you like they think you're crazy.
They're not going to know.
They're not going to know. So
I agree with you. We've got about 38 seconds left. How can folks find your music?
Okay, it is, they can go to www.thejourneys, JOURNEYS, gospel.net. They can order anything there. They can get in touch with me there. We're on most of the social media outlets. They can also email me at djourney1, the number 1, at surrey.net.
There you go. Donna, thank you so much for being on the show today. This show, I'll let you know when it's going to be out there, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Face your fear, shout my name, proclaim the victory. You've said your prayers, now take a stand, get up off your knees. You've told me about